Hello friends, so today we are going to talk about control structures. So in control structures there are decision structures. Now what do you mean by decision making structures? So let us see what do we mean by decision making structures. So decision structures are those structures that have one or more conditions to be evaluated or tested by the program along with a statement that are to be executed if the conditions determined to be true and optionally other statements to be executed if the conditions is determined to be false. डिसीजन स्ट्रक्चर्स बेसिकली वो स्ट्रक्चर्स होते हैं जिसमें एक या एक से ज्यादा कंडीशंस होती है जिसको प्रोग्राम पहले इवेल्यूएट करता है या फिर बोल सकते हैं हम टेस्ट करता है, और अगर वो स्टेटमेंट्स जो हम लोगों ने दिए हैं, जो कंडीशंस हम लोगों ने बताई है उन्हें, अगर वो कंडीशंस ट्रू होती है तो वो कुछ एक स्टेटमेंट रन करता है, और या फिर ऐसा भी कर सकते हैं कि अगर वो स्टेटमेंट्स जो हमने कंडीशंस दी अगर वो फॉल्स है तो वो कुछ और स्टेटमेंट्स रन करेगा. तो लेट अस सी सम डिसीजन स्टेटमेंट्स स्ट्रक्चर्स, some statements that we can use in Java. So the first and foremost is an if statement. If statement consists of a Boolean expressions followed by one or more statement. यहाँ पे हम सिंटेक्स में देख सकते हैं एक इफ स्टेटमेंट को. एक इफ स्टेटमेंट जो होता है उसमें कुछ एक बुलियन एक्सप्रेशंस होते हैं, और ये जितने बुलियन एक्सप्रेशंस होते हैं ये सभी के सभी बुलियन एक्सप्रेशंस हमको या इधर जो बुलियन वैल्यू होती है उसमें हम लोगों को एक रिटर्न करते हैं, बुलियन वैल्यू रिटर्न करते हैं जो कि होती है हमारी ट्रू या फॉल्स. नाउ इफ द बुलियन एक्सप्रेशंस की जो वैल्यू रिटर्न करी हमको अगर वो ट्रू होती है तो यहाँ पे जो भी स्टेटमेंट्स लिखेंगे वो सभी स्टेटमेंट्स को हमारा प्रोग्राम एग्जीक्यूट करेगा. और अगर वो स्टेटमेंट्स फॉल्स होते हैं, अगर हमारे बुलियन एक्सप्रेशंस जो हैं if it is going to be false, then it will be going back to our program's flow. Let us see the flow chart. So this is the flow chart of an if statement. Here you can see that this is the flow of our program, and into this flow if an if statement is over there, so it will check the condition over here, you can see, and if the condition tends to be the true, then it will going to run this conditional code over here, and after running this conditional code it will again go back to the flow of our program. Okay, and if the conditional statement is false, then it will remain in the flow of our program and won't go to run any other conditional codes or statements, as we can say. So let us see, if we want to have some more expressions over there to be run when our conditional statement is false. So let us see over there that there are now if else statements over there. So if an statement can be followed by an optional else statement which executes when the Boolean expression is false. So what happens here, you can see in the syntax over here that if the Boolean expression is true, then the statements that are written over here will be run. Okay, and then if the Boolean expression is false, then the statements which will be returned over here into these brackets will run. So let us see the flow diagram of this. So in the flow diagram you can see that this is the flow of this is the main flow of our program, and when an if else statement comes, if the statement comes over here and the condition what we have given, the Boolean expression, if it is true, then some conditional code it will run and then go back to our on program's flow. And if the conditional statement that we have with the Boolean expression is false, then it will run some conditional codes over here and then return back to our program. So we have got if statement and else statement. Very good. Now what happens now, these are things where we can take a single expression and whether it is true or false. So we have only two way that we can go, only two conditional codes that we can run. Now what happens if we have multiple expressions that we want to check? Let us see if we have something for that also. So for that we have if else statement. Now what do we mean by if else? So an if statement can be followed by an optional if statement, again else if statement. Okay, so which is very useful to test various conditions using if-else statement. Here you can see in the syntax that we have used an if statement over here. Now in that if statement there is a boolean expression over here, and in that boolean expression, if the boolean expression is true, the statements that will be written over here will run, and then you can see here again else, and we have in that else then we have again used an if expression. So now this boolean expression is second boolean expression. Now if this is false, then it will go over here to else, and then it will run this again another if. Okay, and in this if it will run, okay, there is another boolean expression over here. It will check if that is true, then it will execute whatever the statements that would be written over here, and if this is false, then this will go to this else, and after this else you can see another if is over there. So it will again check this boolean expression, return to this if, and if not, then there will be it will be running this statements. If the boolean expression 3 is true, then it will be running this one, and if it is false, then it will go to else, and then if none of the above expressions are true, then the statements that are being written over here will run. Now here you can see that I have had three different expressions written over here. You can have as many expressions as you want, as many as if else if as you want. So there is no limit for this. Okay, you can have how many expressions you want to check. You can check using this. Now, but the thing is, if we are using if else again and again and again and again, it kind of makes our program repetitive, and we do not want to make our program repetitive. So thing is, a good programmer never makes it program repetitive. So what will happen if you do not want to make a program repetitive? Okay, so before that, let us see one more thing, nested if statement. So it is always legal to nest an if-else statement, which means you can use one if-else statement inside another if-else statement. So हम एक if-else statement के अंदर भी हम वापस से एक और if-else statement चूज कर सकते हैं. सपोज करिए कि हमारे पास में दो अलग अलग ऐसे हैं ऐसे एक्सप्रेशन है जो हम दोनों चेक करना चाहते हैं, और हम आउटपुट जब देना चाहते हैं जब हमारे दोनों एक्सप्रेशन जो हैं वो ट्रू हो. तो हम लोग को ऑब्वियस सी बात है कि वेदर फर्स्ट इज ट्रू, then into that if another if statement will run, which will check another boolean expression, and if both the boolean expressions will be true, then the third statement would be running. So as I was telling you earlier that we don't want to make our program repetitive, so let us see what we can do for that. So we have switch statements. Now switch statements allows a variable to be tested for equality against a list of values. हम वहाँ पे एक वेरिएबल रखते हैं और उस वेरिएबल को हम चेक करते हैं. बहुत सारी हमारे पास जो लिस्ट ऑफ वैल्यू रहेगी, हर अलग अलग वैल्यू से हम उनसे चेक करेंगे whether it is equal or not, and if it would be equal to someone, then it is going to it will run some statements over there. So let us see how the syntax of a switch statement is. Okay, so here you can see there's a switch. I opened a switch, and into that switch we are going to pass a variable. Now these variables, we need to have some kind of rules are over there. The variables which can be used into switch statement can only be integers, convertible integers like byte, short or character, and strings and enums. That's it. You cannot use anything else into that. Now we can have any number of case statements over here. So let us see what case statements are. So whatever the value of this variable would be, the case, and here we will write the value. So like suppose the variable, there is a variable, and suppose it has some value. So if it has this value 1, then the case, this statement, these statements which are returned under this case value will run, and then we have to use this break. Now here it is written optional, but it's not always optional. It is only optional in some cases. But what happens when you do not use this break, it will just run like it will just read, or program will read the first this case value, second this case value, then this and in this, whatever how many case statements are written over there, it will read all of them. So it is very good practice to use break after every case value. Okay, then there is a default value that is again optional, and if the variable is null or having a default value, then the default statements will run, and these are again optional. If you want to have them, you can have them. If you do not want to have them, you will not have them. So these are some kind of control structures that we have seen over here. Now let us see if we can make some examples out of them and see how they are going to run. Now how about this? Let us do a simple program. Int I is equal to 10. हमने एक इंटीजर लिया I, जिसके हमने बोल दिया ये कि ये जो I है ये 10 की इक्वल है. Now let us check if I is less than 20. If I is less than 20, then that the new expression is true. Okay, now let's see if we can test it. Now see, now I की वैल्यू हमने रखी 10 और यहाँ पे हमने बोला कि if I is less than 20, then system.out.println that the Boolean expression is true, and you can see over here in the output that Boolean expression is really true. Okay, now let us change it to 30. Now you can see over there nothing has come. Why nothing has come? Because now the program will read if I is less than 20 but I is not less than 20, then the Boolean expression over here it is false, and as there is nothing out there, so it is going to not run anything and then just end our program. So let us do one thing. We are going to add a else statement over here, and into this else statement let us say that now let's run it again. You can see over here that it is written in the output the Boolean expression is false. Now if I is less than 20 but I is not less than 20, I की वैल्यू कितनी है 30 है. सो ये जो हमारा Boolean expression है ये हो गया false. जब ये false हुआ तो कौन सी रन करी इसने? else statement रन करी. चलो यहाँ पे हम एक चीज और देख लेते हैं. 10 कर देते हैं इसको हम कर देते हैं अगेन अनदर if लगा लेते हैं इस पे. Just build this and let us run it. So here you can see that the value is 30 written over here. Okay, now let us change it to 10. So the value is 10. Okay, let's change it to 20 and see what happens. The value is 20. Let's change it to 40. And you can see that is written that the value is not then 20 or 30. So okay, now let's nest if statement. Let's see what happens if we nest a if statement into this. Okay, so let us run. Okay, so now as the value is greater than 10, then I की वैल्यू अभी 40 है. I की वैल्यू जब यहाँ greater than 10 रही तो यहाँ पे लिखा हो गया the value is greater than 10. बट इसके अंदर वाला जो एक और इफ स्टेटमेंट था वो रन नहीं करा और वो सीधे बाहर निकल गया. हम एक काम करते हैं आई की वैल्यू जो है 10 और 20 के बीच में रख लेते हैं. आई की वैल्यू लाइक 12. लेट्स सी व्हाट यू कैन सी दैट द वैल्यू इज ग्रेटर देन 10 बट इट इज लेस देन 20 रिटर्न ओवर हियर. सो नाउ व्हाट हैपेंड, हमने दो अलग अलग दो अलग अलग हमने चेक करा। पहले हमने चेक करा कि आई की वैल्यू क्या 10 से बड़ी है, और हाँ बिकॉज दिस इज ट्रू, सो हमने एक लाइन प्रिंट कराई जिसमें हमने लिखा द वैल्यू इज ग्रेटर देन 10। यू कैन सी ओवर हियर द वैल्यू इज ग्रेटर देन 10। बट जैसे ही फिर हमने यहाँ पे एक और इफ स्टेटमेंट लगाया विच इज नेस्टेड इनटू दिस इफ स्टेटमेंट। सो यहाँ पे हमने चेक करा कि आई की वैल्यू क्या 20 से छोटी है, और क्योंकि अभी हमारी आई की वैल्यू है 12, क्योंकि हाँ 20 से छोटी है, तो इसलिए ये वाला भी इसने प्रिंट करा। Okay, yes, but it is less than 20. Okay, so we can use this in multiple ways. We can have one more nested if, another nested, and we can nest the if statement into another if statement multiple times, as many times as we want and as much as we want.